So, first of all, how did you hear about the Therapist Throwdown?
One of the I think I don't really remember whether it was Div 12 or 17 mailer. It was one of those mailers. And then when it came in, I remember just being like, like it's like this is probably gonna be too hard. Like let me not bother to try.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, this looks a little daunting.
Wow.
Yeah. And but then I spoke with one of my supervisors about it, and he's like, why not? Would be a good experience either way, right? Like, and then he's like, you'll probably be up against fourth year or fifth year trainees, so like, but it will be a good experience. So I'm like, okay, heck it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So what year were you when you did it?
Set my second year.
Second year. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And how did you prepare for the Therapist Throwdown?
Actually, I feel like for me, I really didn't want to do anything overtly out of my style. So if anything, my preparation was to be like, okay, how would I respond to this naturally? Like from as naturally as possible, but also really trying to be making sure that I was speaking from a grounded place. Yeah. Something like that.
And did you rehearse or practice with the practice videos?
Maybe rehearse like once or twice, just so that I don't like trip over my words, something like that. But I feel like when the videos came, I think like I thought about like what I would want to say to the person, and then like I asked a friend of mine how she would respond, like to get some like tips on it, and thought about it, and then decided that okay, like okay, this is how I would do it, and then I just did it, I think like once or twice through, and then that was it.
And that was it.
Yeah.
Great. How'd you record yourself? Was it with your phone or something else, or?
I think it was from that link that you guys.
Link. Okay.
Yeah, that
okay,
link was really useful.
Great. Okay, great. We'll do that again then. We were wondering about that. And what was it like doing the live competition?
Oh, I think the live so I think I didn't know what to expect going to the competition, because I didn't know that it was going to be like pretty much the same, but I actually think on hindsight that it was good that it was pretty similar, though I think it would have been more exciting if it was live.
Yeah, with like a lot of people. Yeah.
Right. Like you guys were hilarious with the top hats and all that.
Yeah.
And then I feel like it was a similar sort of experience for me in preparing for it, just that it felt a little it felt like more intense, like oh okay. Like, and I feel like you guys tried to make it more intense, so that was probably your fault, but like I thought it was funny, like you guys try to make it more intense in a therapist competition, right? I think I was like, okay, okay, Jen, before you respond, how are you grounded? Are you speaking from a grounded place? Like, don't respond just to be reactive, just respond however and see what happens.
Yeah. Let's see, do you have any recommendations for trainees who are gonna, compete in the 2022, the next Therapist Throwdown?
Oh, I think it was a really good experience. Like, I think that I actually think that everyone should take part in it. I actually told a lot of my friends about it after, because I think that when I first saw the mailer, I thought like, oh, this is going to be intimidating. It's going to be a little scary, like and why do I bother to video myself and get like feedback like this when I could like get it from my supervisor or something like that, and then I think I was so pleasantly surprised when I just like submitted the videos and stuff. And because I mean, I think even recording the videos and all of that wasn't as difficult or onerous, administratively onerous, I thought it was going to be. And then I realized too that in the process of I think the question prompts that you all set were very scoped, so it was very helpful. Like I didn't feel like I had to like think of like the perfect 5-minute reply. Like 10 seconds was great. And it also made me think about how I would respond to it. Like, so like, I don't feel like I feel like it was very much because of your prompts that I started thinking more about alliance rupture and the various ways that I could kind of take it and get like different thoughts from other people about how they would take it. And then I think that even from the live competition watching, the way other people responded, other contestants responded, I'm like, oh, hey, it didn't even strike me that I could respond that way. Because like in terms of the non-verbals or the tone or the words, just the whole tech of it. So, and then to get feedback from other people who maybe you're not as familiar with, but like, I mean, we can, that was very helpful. Yeah.
Great. What did your advisor say when he found out that you won?
Oh, congratulations. I mean, I think my PI was pretty happy for me. They were like, yay, okay. And then, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Did you say that you have a deliberate practice group, or was that someone else, or that wasn't you, was it? That must have been someone else. Okay. And would what advice would you give to trainees who want to participate, who want to compete in Therapist Throwdown 2022? Like, what advice would you give them to prepare for it?
To prepare for it, like, I feel like to have I think the first thing is to not I feel, okay, I don't know, maybe I'm biased, right? But I feel like to not overtly prepare actually, because I feel like you end up feeling unnecessarily tense in the flow of your flow of thought and speech. So that's one. And I feel like it's sometimes I feel like the reactions come from your own sort of internal clarity. Right. So I feel like it's like if the prompts come or whatever, to be like, oh, okay, well, what if this were my actual client, right? Like what would I naturally say? And then you just roll, right? And then if you don't feel like you really know what to say, like that's fine too. And I think that's maybe where the deliberate practice comes in, to kind of like take a step back and be like, okay, like let's like okay, if I don't know how to deal with alliance rupture, right, let me just take like 5 minutes away from being in the I need to react now mindset and be like, how would I think of alliance rupture? Like, what would I want to hear if I was the client? What would I want to say if the therapist? And then after you get some internal clarity, then you come back and then you practice it a little bit, right? You will ask people how it lands for them. That's where I think the deliberate practice piece comes in, and then you go back to the prompt and then you do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so something you've said a bunch of times today is how much you value authenticity in your response. Is that right?
Yeah.
And, because this is interesting, because one of the concerns we hear from senior faculty is that if deliberate practice might produce like a robotic approach to therapy, but what you're saying is not. What you're saying is you were really grounded in authenticity.
Yeah, like I feel like it was. I could see how it could be robotic, but I also feel like in any sort of skill that you learn, which I feel like you've probably thought about this when you came up with the deliberate practice approach, right? Like in any skill you learn, you have to go through a phase of being familiar enough and automatic enough with it before you can have the flexibility to tweak it and take it to your own style, right? Because you don't want to be, if you are doing it live with someone, you don't want to micro like thing. I mean, it's kind of like if it's not already second nature outside of the therapy room, why would it be second nature in the therapy room? Yeah, so you have to weather the robotic part
to get to the authenticity.
Exactly.
Right. All right, great. Great. I mean, that's all the questions I had about the the 2021 Therapist Throwdown. Was there anything, any part of the experience I didn't ask you about that you'd like to highlight?
No, that was great.
Okay.